Hello everyone. The drama surrounding Meghan Markle seems to have reached a shocking new low, and just when we thought the situation couldn't get worse, now come allegations so sensational that they might make Meghan the main focus of public scrutiny. This time it's not about palace intrigue or Netflix series. No, the focus has shifted to an alleged slap, and not just any slap, but one reportedly aimed at Princess Charlotte, the sweet daughter of Catherine, Princess of Wales. If true, this isn't just another chapter in the long-standing feud between the Sussexes and the royal family. It's something that shakes the values of decency and respect. Who would ever harm a young child? Meghan Markle? Rumor has it that this firestorm began when Meghan's close friend, Jessica Mulroney, posted an apparently ordinary photo of Charlotte on Instagram. Nothing seemed strange, right? But what shocked royal watchers were the cryptic words that accompanied the photo, like setting boundaries and standing up for oneself. The flood of rumors has sparked intense speculation among fans and critics alike, with many suggesting something much darker is happening behind palace walls. Mulroney's post was swiftly linked to an alleged incident between Meghan and the young princess. This so-called slap heard around the world reportedly came as a reaction to something Charlotte may have said or done. Of course, the royal family has not confirmed any details, but we know how these things work. Sometimes silence says it all. What's really striking is how quickly these rumors have spread, with public opinion turning sharply against Meghan. People are outraged. Social media is filled with comments asking, how could an adult, especially a mother, go so low as to slap a child? But is anyone truly surprised? After all, this is Meghan Markle, a woman who has consistently portrayed herself as the victim while seemingly blaming everyone else in her quest for peace. But let's take a step back and look at the facts or lack thereof. There's no concrete proof that Meghan actually slapped Charlotte, yet the fact that such an accusation even seems believable speaks volumes about Meghan's current reputation. Over time, she has crafted an image as a misunderstood, progressive outsider in a rigid institution. Yet behind that carefully constructed image, there seems to be something more unsettling, a tendency to react harshly when things don't go her way. And if this slap incident did occur, it's just the latest example of how far Meghan might go to assert control, even if it involves a child. The timing couldn't be worse, as the Sussexes are already dealing with multiple PR crises, from the backlash over their Netflix series to the controversies stirred by Harry's memoir. This is the last thing they need, yet here we are, once again questioning Meghan's actions, and this time the stakes are higher than ever. Accusations like these are not easily brushed aside, and the public is unlikely to forget. Meghan supporters can shout accusations of misogyny and racism all they want, but these arguments may not hold up in the face of such serious allegations. Jessica Mulroney's role only deepens the intrigue. For years, she's been one of Meghan's most loyal allies, standing by her through every high and low. However, her cryptic post about setting boundaries hints that even Mulroney may be tiring of Meghan's behavior. Was Mulroney's post an indirect warning to the royal family that Meghan isn't someone to cross, or was it a subtle hint that even she has had enough of Meghan's behavior? The fact that Mulroney hasn't publicly defended Meghan amid these allegations is revealing perhaps the cracks in their friendship are finally starting to show. Then there's Catherine. For years, she has maintained a dignified silence despite Meghan's frequent jabs and subtle digs. But if this slap incident is true, Catherine's patience must be running thin. Imagine being a mother and hearing that your sister-in-law might have physically harmed your child. It's a nightmare scenario, and if anyone has a right to be outraged, it's Catherine. Yet, as always, she embodies grace, refusing to descend into the drama surrounding Meghan. So what does this latest scandal mean for Meghan's already faltering reputation? It's difficult to see how Meghan could recover from something like this. Physical violence, especially involving a child, crosses a line that's nearly impossible to come back from. The British public already holds Meghan in low regard, but this could truly be the final straw. Criticizing the royal family or playing the victim on a global stage is one thing. Allegedly slapping a child in a moment of anger is something else entirely. If Meghan believes she could move past her previous controversies, this latest accusation may well change that. Then there's the question of Harry's role in all of this. Let's not forget that he has his own part to play in the unfolding drama. Harry has remained silent so far, but his silence is only making things worse. How long can he stand by and watch his wife create chaos within his family before he steps in? Or is he so caught up in Meghan's drama that he's blind to the damage being done? If Harry doesn't address these rumors soon, it could spell disaster not only for his relationship with the royal family but also for his public image. The bigger issue here is that Meghan's actions, whether it's the alleged slap or her ongoing critiques of the monarchy, reflect something deeper. She has always branded herself as a disruptor, but not in the empowering feminist way she likes to promote. Instead, her version of disruption seems to involve bringing others down, stirring up conflict, and then claiming victimhood when things backfire. If the slap did happen, it's just another example of how Meghan operates impulsively, selfishly, and with little thought for the consequences. As this scandal unfolds, it's becoming clear that Meghan's carefully built image is beginning to collapse. Every step she takes seems to backfire, and this latest accusation might be the one that finally brings her down. The slap could be the turning point that leads people to view Meghan not as a victim or a heroine, but as a deeply flawed individual whose actions have real consequences. Royal watchers and fans will be watching closely to see how this story plays out, but one thing is certain: Meghan Markle is running out of excuses, and her time in the public's favor is quickly fading. As the situation develops, it's hard not to analyze each aspect of this debacle, from the response from Meghan's camp to the way it reveals deeper cracks in her public image and the tension she stirred, not only within the royal family but also across the public spectrum. What's shocking here isn't just the accusation itself, though that's scandalous enough, but the layers of implications and the undeniable fallout affecting everyone around Meghan. Let's break it down with a sharper lens on her apparent mishandling of every element in this situation. First, there's the complete radio silence from Meghan's side. As these rumors spread across every media outlet, her team has been unusually quiet. Normally, the Sussexes respond in carefully timed, PR-driven statements. But this isn't just another social media feud or tabloid controversy. This is a scandal involving a beloved child, adored not only by the British public but worldwide. And yet, there hasn't been a single word from Meghan's usually vocal defenders. Could it be that they know defending this kind of behavior would be a losing battle? Typically, when Meghan faces criticism, the narrative quickly pivots to paint her as the perennial victim oppressed by an unforgiving media and stifled by the monarchy's restrictions. But an alleged incident of physical harm against a child is much harder to spin, and that might be why Meghan's PR machine has stalled. There's no angle that can fully excuse such an accusation, and the silence from her side is only intensifying public suspicion. The longer this quiet continues, the more it starts to feel like an unintentional admission of guilt. This brings us to the irreversible damage this scandal has already caused to Meghan's public persona. Let's be honest, public figures live and die by their image, and Meghan's brand has always centered on her self-styled image as a champion of compassion, female empowerment, and family values. But how does a woman who allegedly slaps a child reconcile that with her carefully curated persona? The truth is, she doesn't. If this accusation gains more traction, Meghan's entire platform risks collapsing under the weight of its own hypocrisy. For years, she has painted herself as a figure of kindness, a philanthropist, a woman who has endured adversity in the public eye. But the stark contrast between that portrayal and these new allegations is hard to ignore. You can't claim to be a fierce advocate for human rights and be accused of such behavior without facing serious fallout. This alleged slap has done something Meghan likely didn't foresee. It has shattered the image she spent years constructing. The public is starting to see through the facade, and what they're uncovering isn't pretty. Additionally, we need to consider the broader implications this scandal could have on Meghan's future endeavors. We know that Meghan and Harry have aimed to forge a new path for themselves, one that allows them to build a brand centered around activism and entertainment. They've signed multi-million-dollar deals, established themselves as global influencers, and attempted to leverage their royal connection while distancing themselves from it. But here's the catch: everything they've built relies on their reputation as relatable advocates, woke champions of justice. An accusation like this threatens to undermine that entire foundation. This could be the Achilles heel that brings their empire crashing down if this scandal sticks. If the allegations aren't forcefully and convincingly denied, Meghan and Harry's carefully crafted brand will face an existential crisis. Their contracts with Netflix, Spotify, and other platforms aren't just about their names. They revolve around the image they project. Who would want to collaborate with, let alone be associated with, someone embroiled in allegations of child abuse? While Hollywood and the entertainment industry may thrive on scandal, there are limits they won't cross. If these rumors gain further traction, the doors that have opened for the Sussexes may start to close one by one. Beyond the corporate world, Meghan's relationship with her fan base is also at risk. For years, she has nurtured a loyal following of supporters who genuinely believe in the causes she advocates. But now, those supporters are being put to the test. How can supporters continue to rally behind someone accused of something so horrific? For many, this may be the breaking point the moment they realize that the Meghan they've been defending isn't who they thought she was. Cracks are starting to show in her support base. Social media is buzzing with conversations, and even her most ardent fans are expressing doubts. "I've defended her for years," one Twitter user lamented, "but if this is true, I can't stand by her anymore, and let's not overlook the implications for her marriage." While Meghan and Harry have presented a united front since leaving the royal family, this kind of scandal puts any marriage to the test, even one that appears as strong as theirs. Harry has always been the one to defend Meghan, standing by her no matter what the tabloids throw at them. But what happens when the accusations involve a member of his own family, a child, no less? The dynamics within Harry and Meghan's marriage must be under immense strain right now, with Harry caught between his loyalty to his wife and his protective instincts toward his niece. As much as he may want to shield Meghan from public scrutiny, how long can he continue to do so when his family is dragged into this mess? Harry's position is particularly precarious. He's already burned so many bridges with his family, and this scandal only deepens the divide. The royal family, for all their discretion and stoicism, must be furious behind closed doors. After all, this isn't just a case of petty squabbles or media missteps. This is a serious allegation concerning the welfare of a child, and no amount of privacy or boundary-setting rhetoric can downplay that reality. One has to wonder how much longer Harry can stay on the sidelines before he's forced to make a choice to defend his wife at all costs or confront the reality that Meghan's actions are causing irreparable damage, not just to their public image, but also to his personal relationships. Then there's the ripple effect this scandal could have on Meghan's professional connections. Meghan has built her post-royal life on partnerships with influential figures and organizations. Whether it's the Obamas, Serena Williams, or other prominent celebrities who have aligned themselves with Meghan and Harry, they must now be reconsidering their ties. Allegations like these don't just impact the individual at the center of the controversy, they cast a shadow over everyone associated with them. If these figures determine that their relationship with Meghan is too risky, we could see a swift exodus of supporters distancing themselves from the Sussexes to protect their own reputations. This scandal creates a tough situation for Meghan's ongoing quest for political and social impact. Over recent years, she has become more active in supporting issues like gender equality and mental health. But how can she continue to advocate for these causes with such serious accusations hanging over her? It's a difficult contradiction to manage. If Meghan continues her activism without addressing the claims, she risks being labeled as someone who doesn't practice what she preaches. However, if she confronts the accusations directly, it could lead to even greater public scrutiny. No matter the path, she faces significant challenges ahead. On top of that, her political aspirations might take a hit as well. There's been ongoing talk about Meghan's interest in entering American politics, possibly even aiming for a public office. But how could anyone run for office with these kinds of allegations out in the open? Politics is a tough game, and any strong opponent would quickly use this scandal against her. The moment Meghan hints at a political run, the perception alone could be damaging. How could someone accused of aggressive behavior toward a child hope to gain the support of voters, especially those who value family and integrity? This isn't just another rumor or small conflict between Meghan and the royal family, it's a serious accusation involving a much-loved young princess. This whole situation feels like a real turning point, not only for Meghan. Meghan's public image and the trust people place in her character now faces a harsh test. Seeing her name tied to such a shocking accusation, involving slapping her niece in anger, leaves little room for the compassion she often calls for. Let's talk about perception here. Since stepping back from royal life, Meghan has focused on advocating for women's rights, equality, and family values. But with these claims surfacing, they paint her in the worst possible light. It's as if the image of the Duchess of Sussex has been pulled back, exposing someone far more unpredictable and less principled than she portrays. The public, already skeptical of her narrative of hardship, is unlikely to accept any justification her PR team might offer. Meghan has consistently defended herself each time controversy arises. Her team quickly responds with statements, posts carefully crafted for Instagram, or lashes out at the media for daring to question her intentions. But now, with this scandal involving her niece, Princess Charlotte, Meghan's PR strategy seems to have hit a wall. The silence is striking, and it's hard not to think her team realizes this is beyond repair. No amount of vague Instagram posts about boundaries can make this go away. The irony here is almost glaring. Meghan has spent years positioning herself as the misunderstood outsider, the underdog, the one constantly wronged by the royal family and the press. Yet, with these allegations, that narrative starts to crumble. What does this reveal about her character? Meghan has often shaped public opinion to turn every criticism into a poor me story, but people are no longer buying it. And then, of course, there's poor Prince Harry. How can Harry keep standing by Meghan through all of this? He's already sacrificed so much: his family ties, royal responsibilities, and much of his public support. But with these allegations involving his niece, it must be increasingly difficult for him to excuse Meghan's actions. This might be the point where even Harry starts to question if sticking by her is worth the constant turmoil. After all, there's a big difference between defending your wife from media criticism and staying silent when she's accused of harming your own family. The royal family must also be reaching their limits. For years, they've held back, keeping a dignified silence while Meghan and Harry. They've watched as their names were dragged through the mud, but with this latest scandal involving Princess Charlotte, it's personal and sure to strike a deep chord behind the scenes. You can imagine tempers are flaring. How much longer can they keep up their dignified silence while Meghan stirs up one controversy after another? The trouble with Meghan's public image is that it's built on shaky ground. For years, she has positioned herself as a figure of empathy and understanding, but in doing so, she's distanced herself from the very people who once backed her. She's burned bridges, not only with the royal family, but with the public as well, leaving her with little to lean on now that things are falling apart. This scandal highlights that perfectly. When the public first got to know Meghan, there was genuine excitement about the fresh perspective she could bring to the royal family. She was modern, outspoken, and brought a fresh perspective. But over time, that image has faded, replaced by a perception of self-importance, victimhood, and now even alleged aggression. The public is growing weary of Meghan Markle. They're tired of the constant drama, the endless controversies, and what they see as blatant hypocrisy. What makes the situation even more damaging is that Meghan's actions, if true, go directly against everything she says she stands for. How can she promote female empowerment while allegedly mistreating her young niece? How can she advocate for kindness and compassion while entangled in such a scandal? These contradictions are catching up with Meghan, making this latest controversy feel especially significant. In the end, this scandal may be what unravels her carefully built image. Shaping public opinion through strategic interviews and articles is one thing, but facing accusations of violence against a child is another entirely. This isn't something that can be swept away with a polished PR statement or a photo op at a charity event. This scandal strikes at the core of who Meghan claims to be, and it's one she may never fully recover from. In the weeks and months ahead, her team will likely pull out all the stops to rebuild her reputation, but the damage has been done. The public has seen the cracks in her image, and those memories won't fade easily. For years, Meghan presented herself as a champion of women and children, but this scandal reveals a different side. It paints her as someone who, when pressured, may be willing to lash out. When things don't go her way, someone who preaches kindness but allegedly behaves with cruelty behind closed doors. For Meghan, this could be the breaking point. The public has grown weary of her constant narrative of victimhood, and this latest scandal might be the final straw. For years, she played the role of the misunderstood Duchess, but now the mask is slipping, revealing a different side that's hard to ignore. Whether she can recover from this remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the public's perception of Meghan Markle has been permanently altered. So, where does she go from here? Meghan's brand has always centered on empowerment and advocacy, yet those ideals feel empty in light of these accusations. She may continue to promote herself as a champion of women and children, but the public will remember the scandal and the contradiction that now shadows her image. Meghan has always known how to play the long game, but this time it feels like she might be out of moves. That wraps up our take on the latest scandal surrounding Meghan Markle. This story is bound to keep making headlines, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think these allegations are true? Can Meghan bounce back from this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.